Buddy, it's Kelly. Just gonna get the camera straightened out a little bit for you. Okay, so that looks pretty good. And then we'll get YouTube up. Thought I had it ready, but it's not. There we go. Okay, so I'll wait just a minute or so for a couple of you to get on here. So tonight I am going to do a layout with photos of my oldest grandson. And he, like what I guess is probably most of the kids in the United States, is doing school from home. And he has been for a month now. So all of my grandkids have M names. I don't know if we've talked about that at all or if I've talked about that, but this is M number 1. So we call my daughter-in-law and I refer to the kids as M number 1, 2, 3, or 4, depending on who it is when we're texting, because that way it's easier instead of writing out their whole names. Plus, sometimes when we're talking to each other, we just do it because it's way easier. You don't get quite so hung up on their actual names. So, anyway, so this is a picture of M number 1 and his first place he was doing school, and now he has a table in his parents' bedroom where his mother is also working right now too. So I thought, this is probably a really timely layout to do right now because there's a lot of people who are helping their kids learn at home. And I was working through working on another layout today, and I saw this paper as I was going through things, and this is Webster's Pages, the My Happy Place collection, and it's the Heart and Home paper. And so the paper, this is actually the border strip down here, because when I looked at it, I'm like, oh, I don't like that, but it's actually the border strip, so that will come off. I'm not quite sure if I'm going to take this top row off or not. I don't tend to work on backgrounds that are all white. It always, and especially with designs running off it like this, because it feels to me like it's falling off, the design's falling off the paper, so it needs some sort of frame. So I might do that. So hey Moira, good to see you. So I did think, just kind of take a, well actually I should talk about this too. So I have a bunch of stuff that I've pulled. I've pulled my envelope of school stuff. So I've got stickers, I have a bunch of paper, I have some cork pieces, which I'm probably not going to use. I have some wood veneer, which probably not going to use that either. I have a bunch of die cuts and then some layered stickers, which there's a couple in here that I think could be really good. And then the other thing that I have is I have these back to school puffy stickers, which were from 2019 from Ellie Studio. And I really like this one that says classroom and this other one that says back to school, because he missed a week of school because he's in first grade, and the first, second, and third graders went back to school a little bit later than the other kids in their district because they didn't have tablets and that kind of stuff available to them like all the other kids had them to take home. So anyway, so I thought classroom and back to school would be good. I like this pencil because he's using a pencil. Certainly this the star could work with that as well too. So that's my first thought. I'm going to just quick cut this paper, the border strip, off so I can get a look at what I think. I might try to dare myself not to make a frame, and then again I might just decide that I need to make a frame. So anyway, so that's that. There's pencils in a lot of these, like this one, which is an Echo Park Back to School, which is an older collection. This is Photo Play School Days. I think both of these were 2019. Oh, this is 2018. I'm pretty sure, well, I'm saying I'm pretty sure this is 2019, but no, that I think about it, I think that came in a kit. So I don't know if it was or not. Let me take a look. Yeah, it doesn't say. Photoplay doesn't have a date on there, so I'm not sure. So I think the Echo Park tends to go better than this really, really bright. And this is probably more kid-like, which he's certainly a kid in all of that. But I think the supplies from the other line just go better. But we'll see. You know, you never know. So I just like the muted colors better between these two. All right, so I did find this piece of paper. Ooh, and look at that lovely wood grain on the back too, with this pencil behind it. So I kind of like that idea. I'm glad I'm not the only one, Moira, who has problems with designs running off the pages. I definitely think I need something to back with the photo here, and I kind of like that. This, see, and now here's my other problem with white backgrounds with no frame behind them, and especially if there's stuff running off, is now everything is forward and that background is fading so far into the back. Can you see what I mean there? That it's really hard to see it. So I don't know why, but green has been speaking to me. And here's a little bit of green. I'm gonna go grab another piece of paper because I was doing another layout this afternoon and I had a green piece of paper that I had cut a frame out of. See that paper right there? And that works really well with that. Oh, as a matter of fact, of course it does. This is not the same paper, but this is actually from the Photoplay collection. But anyway, that's why it's working so well. So I have that, or I have this to use. Now, if I used this, I wouldn't use this because my mind would start going crazy from the diagonal stripes. So let's just put this behind it. And I think you guys can catch the difference there. And he is wearing red. I'm not honestly loving the play of this and this against each other. I think they almost need a separation if I'm going to do that. And then this is a little bit more grunged up than this is. Oh, the reason that is because they are from two different collections. Okay, so that makes sense. So let me just quick see what else I can find in here. Maybe not that one. I'm just going to set that aside. So there's some letters. This would also be a good background. I'll show you if you can get enough revealed. I sometimes like to do this with really busy backgrounds because you just get a flavor of it. I'm not going to do it with this one because I like the green better, but that's like those big floral designs that we see in a lot of collections. That's a nice thing to do. I'm kind of looking, so now here's a nice yellow or red for a little, that would be a nice kind of background there for him because he's wearing red. Yeah, I'm really not loving this with this. So I'm going to take that out. I think I'm trying to make it work, but ooh, look at that beautiful wood grain though. The name of this is Pencil Pushers. So back to school, that's Echo Park. Let's see, what else do we have here? The star. That's kind of nice if I wanted to do a strip of something. That wood grain is gorgeous, isn't it, Moira? There are not enough of wood grains in the world. That's a nice bit of yellow too. And then I have another piece of that bug paper, which is kind of funny. Oh, and I do love this piece of paper. I think this is the only strip I have left of it, though. Oh, actually, I don't. I have more than that. Oh, so maybe. This doesn't feel clear and bright, but the other one does. So now I'm throwing down a lot of stuff. And this, I'm thinking, the reason I'm thinking I like this red is because I like the idea of emphasizing him And this, I think the background is too dark. So let's do what I know first. And this, I know this is from that Echo Park Back to School collection, but I don't think I have any more of this paper left, in case you're wondering what it is. So, oh, hi Shay, nice to see you from Australia. It's nice that you can join us. Okay, and then I think I've talked about this before, but as long as I have two great examples, I'm being very conscious of where these photos are, because in this photo he's looking to the left, in this photo he's looking to the right. So what I want them to do is I want the people in photos, as much as I possibly can, always to be looking into the layout, because otherwise if they look out, your eyes will automatically look in the direction that they're looking, and that is not what we're trying to achieve here, right? So I did grab two other things I should show you. This is some book paper, or book washi tape, which I think is really cool, and then this is one of Chamel's from Sparkle City. I believe this is from Sparkle City. And that's just like apartment houses and that kind of stuff. So I thought it might be kind of fun with the whole theme of this layout. So I'm going to cut that down like I said I was going to. I still have the yellow papers to the side here, just in case I decide that I want to use them. They're actually just sitting on top of my trimmer platform, which is a bad habit, because then I get a stack so high I have to find a place to move them. Okay, so I'm really liking that. I'm liking the way this is kind of focusing everything in. So that's a good place to start. Let's trim the border off that. So I'll show you why I have a hole in the middle of this in just a second. So this is one of my beloved Doodlebug Petite prints in the dot stripe collection. This is grasshopper dot stripe. So the reason I did that is I needed a green paper to mat a photo, and I cut it out of the center of this because I knew I could use this. So Shay, that this blue paper is from Photoplay, and it is the School Days collection. Now I know I bought this in a paper pack, and it doesn't have a date on it, so I'm not quite sure when it is, but School Days is the name of it from Photoplay. And I have a couple other things, like they make a die cut pack too, which I have as well. So, all right, but yeah, this blue is so beautiful. I love that color. All right, so I think the thing that I need to do for sure is take off this top row of houses. So I'm going to quick measure that on my trimmer just to see where that would get me if I took that off. Okay, so if I take off just below the line here and leave that, it's 11 inches, which I like to work with. I usually, when I am making a frame like what I'm doing now, I will cut it either at the 11 1/4 or 11-inch mark, depending on how much of a border, I'm going to take this away for just a second, how much of a border I want around it. I tend to go with 11 1/4, but just because of the fact that I'm working with the design specifically here, that's why. So now let me show you another really fun tip. This is what happens when I'm reading comments. So when you make a frame, and a lot of times my frames are much thinner than this, and if you put adhesive down on all of them, it's hard to get it really, really straight. It'll pick up in different places instead of where you want it to. Like it'll pick up on this side or it'll come down unevenly. So I only ever put adhesive on one side, and then I can kind of drop it down and eyeball it. Now trust me, this does not always mean that I get them straight. Fortunately here I have kind of a dot pattern to look at. So now that's down, and then what I do is I put my arm on it to kind of hold it, and then I start tacking down little pieces at a time. So now this is tacked down enough that I can go in and get corners and other pieces. And I'm putting quite a bit of adhesive on. It's what I would, this is a little bit more stable because I don't have that much cut off of it. But if you only have a thin frame, because I've gutted a paper, this is what that's called. For those of you who don't, this is called gutting a paper when you take something out of the middle of it. Normally when I'm gutting a paper, I only have, you know, a border that's about 3/4 or maybe an inch here. So they're not particularly stable, and if you, so you need to get more adhesive around the side there, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Okay, so what I'm going to definitely want to do is make sure that you can see some of these houses for sure, because that's going to be important to this story. So those of you who are just joining in, this is my oldest grandson, and he is doing school at home like a lot of people are right now. So I think what I'm going to do, I don't normally measure, so yeah, that one was my own tip. And it's funny now because as I'm starting to watch other people's scrapbooking, it's funny because other people are starting to say that now, which is fine. I think it's kind of cool, but it's fine. It's probably how, like, Sarah Swan calls making letters into something different MacGyvering, and I definitely use that. So I think I'm going to cut this about, let me see if this will give me enough room. About 6 3/4 first. I want this paper to kind of go in between those houses. And I don't know if I'm going to take off any more or less, but right now I know that, ooh, and I didn't even think about that. Okay, I don't love what I just did because I back these, you don't see that much of that paper. All right, so a couple different things I can do is I can cover up a little bit more of this. Obviously, I have enough that I can use it on the side, or I can do this. So sometimes when I make a frame, I will still leave the sides on here over the border because it makes it a little bit more interesting. And I might have to do that with this one because I have so little. If I'd been thinking about this, I probably should have left another, I don't know, 1/4 inch or so on there. But that's okay. I'm thinking I'm going to do that, but I'm not loving that because I tend to like my borders to be the same all around. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this down to 11 inches as well. All right, so hey Barbara, good to see you. And it's cool, and but we're, oh yeah, you guys are in fall in Australia, or autumn. I think it's, the United States is one of the only places that we say fall. It is cool here, but it was in the 50s. It was actually kind of nice today. It's been really rainy this week here. So I'm thinking that's where this is going to go. And I'll just have to deal, or maybe like this. I'm agonizing over something that really doesn't need to be agonized over. So guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to force myself to just glue it. Heidi Swap had a term that she called glue and go, and I took a class from her many years ago, and I kind of tried to hold to that. So okay, so necessity is the mother of invention. I just pulled this down a little bit, and I actually like it a little bit better this way. This feels like there's no room for the red paper to breathe. Paper breathes, you know, right? So if I pull this down just a little bit, it feels like it has room to breathe. And then the other thing I did is I'm conscious that this border and this border are about the same, and that the bottom of the photo is not even with the bottom of that, and that's tricky because there's not a heck of a lot of room there. So let's get this down. So thanks. Yeah, I definitely, Moira, I would agree that it definitely makes a big difference. So even when you just saw me make a quote mistake, right? It's not what I intended. I didn't intend that to happen, but in the end, I think it's okay. And I'm not going to add any of the yellow paper on this because I think it's bright enough and primary enough as it is right now. I do definitely want to get a title on this, and I probably want some sort of journaling space for this as well. So I'm just going to take a quick peek to see if I have any like journaling frames left or anything like that. And I do know, because I think, you know, this is a big change. Here it is his first year in school, and he, well, actually, it's not. He did kindergarten and he did 4K as well. So I guess he does know what the school day looks like. So I don't know that I love putting stuff over the houses like that. Okay, this My Teacher Rocks is kind of funny because it is his mother. They quickly determined that Dad, who is my stepson, was probably not the one who should be teaching the kids, which is funny. I have a bunch of 3x4 cards, and these came from me and my big ideas, and I did both of my nephew's wedding albums, and these were in them, but I didn't, some of them were okay, but a lot of them were like this, where there wasn't enough color or anything, but they have either the grid lines on the back or dots. So I saved them because I can add washi tape or just do this, or do something like this, where now I've made my own journaling card. So because I think I did toy with putting one in here somewhere, but I think that like this, it cuts stuff off too much. I could do that. I'm getting enough stuff on my work surface that it's starting to bother me. And I may do what I just said I wasn't going to, which is put something over here. Again, I love the irony of My Teacher Rocks. I'll have to tell my daughter-in-law about that. I could use this, but that doesn't feel like I have enough room. Although I do have to remember that I have other stuff over here that I really would like to use as well, too. So this My Teacher Rocks might not go on there. I definitely want to get the classroom piece on here. So let's take that off. It's cute, but... Okay, so I'm just going to do this to see what that looks like. And then I liked the idea of maybe using a stack of books. These are Park Lane papery stickers, which is Joann's, for those of you who are wondering. So there's no teal in here, but I think these look okay. So that's a pretty good... There was a there's this pencil that I want to use from here. And then that classroom, because I think that's important, because that's very different. Maybe this came with a really cute stack of books. Okay, so I think I'm liking the way that's kind of starting to look. So I'm going to be lazy and just, well, actually I should do it this way so I can see where the grid lines are, right? And you guys can see that, yeah. I can even be really, like, making sure that it's really close. Okay. I'm just going to cut up under here. All right, so we have a journaling card. That's one of the reasons, if you have stuff like that, and I know there are other, like I think Felicity Jane's journaling card, for Felicity Jane, right? Yes. journaling cards are just white on the back too. So if it doesn't work with the way they're intended, flip your journaling cards. I liked it when Ellie's studio, oh, and I did not intend for this to happen because now the little pieces came out of the center, but I guess that's okay. We'll make that work. I do need a title up here, and there's a little glitter on these stickers. So I have a blue alphabet that I'm going to think about doing up here. So let me grab that. Ooh, and I haven't, yowza. And my alphas just came flying at me. That's because I have too many thickers, you guys. I actually just got, I'll even pull them over. Some Simple Story stickers. I'm not finding the alpha that I'm thinking of, though. It's Cherish is the name of the alpha. Here it is. Okay, so I just got these in a bunch of colors from Simple Stories, the color vibes, and they're awesome. They're foam. So they're like thickers. All right, this is the alpha I was thinking about. So I think it'll pick up a little bit on the glitter, and I am not above putting pink or glitter on my grandson's layouts. Thanks, Shay. Okay, this one, I have plenty here, so I'm going to definitely use that one. And I'm looking for my, oh, here we go. I was looking for my wax paper because I was scrapbooking earlier this afternoon. I've been doing double page layouts like crazy, you guys, because I have so many pictures, like Easter. You know, like I was almost out of pictures. I would say that almost being, I had 3 or 4 layouts to do for my great nephew, probably 3 or 4 for me, probably had maybe 10 or so for my grandkids left to do. And then Easter happened and I had a couple things I hadn't printed, so that was my job one day, was to go through photos and get an order placed, and I did. So, all right, just looking. It feels like this color and that color are 2 different colors. They are. Okay, that's really weird because these are not. This looks really different. So I'm going to try not to use that if I can help it. So I have a bunch of zeros that I can use because I don't have O's in the other alpha. And I think I'm just going to call this just like I did School from Home. So this is the boring part. All right, guys, so tell me what's going on in your neck of the woods this week. How are you guys doing? So, oh, and here comes Harmony. Harmony, I was thinking about you because I was praying for you and your mom. Right? Your mom, Christine, right? So, today we started our second, like our extension of our stay-at-home order. I have to use that other sheet. I can't do anything else. And let's see. Yes, and I knew your mom was Christine. I did remember that. I actually have your name, your mom's name, and Linda from last week, whose husband is a plumber. You guys were all on my prayer list this week. So anyway, so started stay at home. I am starting to think about what I'm going to do when I reopen. That does not mean I'm ready to do that anytime soon. It's just I'm starting to plan for it. So a friend of mine who has an industrial company did the sweetest thing. We were talking, she's a very close friend of mine. We're talking on Sunday night about some of the stuff that I'm going to need to be doing. And I was just telling her one of the things that I'm most worried about is getting sanitizing stuff. So, oh, as of today, masks are mandatory at work for you, Harmony. Let's just say I had to do a lot of infection control and sanitization stuff when I was in school. I have a saying right now that I love to use that a lot of times the barn is being shut after the horse gets out. I'm just going to leave it there. So anyway, so we were talking about the infection control that I was going to have to do. And I said, my big thing is that it's so hard to get any of that stuff right now. And so we were kind of talking about it. So I said, I'm going to have to start this week to maybe going to Walmart first thing every morning to see if I can get some Clorox wipes or that kind of stuff. And so that was Sunday night, later at night. And I woke up on Monday morning and went into my email, and there was a letter or an email from a company that said, your shipment is on the way. And I'm like, my shipment? Well, what this friend did is she placed an order from their industrial supply company and got me all the sanitization stuff I would need, and won't take any money for it. So I cried, of course. So that was pretty cool. So starting plan for gradual deconfinement beginning May 4th. I think we're going to start to see some of that, or I am probably not quite, well, maybe, because that's another week yet, a little bit more than another week. I was talking to my sister today, who's a nurse at a hospital in Milwaukee. I live about an hour away from there. And yeah, isn't that a lovely gesture? I'll have to tell you about the other one too, because that one was pretty awesome. So there's school from home. I'm sorry if this is boring, you guys, though, having to watch me do the title. But anyway, I was talking to her, and she said that they are not ready at the hospitals yet. She's in management, so she's done, she's been doing planning, quite a bit of planning towards those kinds of ends. The S's in this alpha always freak me out because they're a little bit, so, oh, I'm glad it's not boring, Moira. So she's in management, so she is big on the planning. And so I think I told you guys, my sister was COVID positive. She's now about 2.5 weeks out, and she was home for about a week. Went back to work on Monday and Tuesday and didn't listen to her big sister. And she's a nurse, so she knows better. Didn't listen to her big sister and said, maybe you should start off a little bit slower. You've been home for a while. Maybe go in a half day and go in the afternoon, because I know her well enough to know that if she gets there, she might not go home. She worked Monday, Tuesday, and ended up having to stay home on Wednesday because it's not that she was sick, like her breathing wasn't an issue as bad as it was. She definitely still is having like chest tightness and some of that stuff, but not anything awful, but definitely it's compromising things for her. She's been told no running. When you see my running layouts, the dark-haired woman with the short dark hair is my sister. So anyway, so she ended up working. She went in on Thursday, was going to work half a day, and the supervisor of the woman that she was spending all the time with, who probably passed it to her, told her to go home. So she was home yesterday and most of yesterday and all of today. So I talked to her just a little bit before I came on, and she said she felt pretty good today, and was the first time she didn't have to take a decongestant since, like, I don't know, early April. So that was good. So she's on the mend. So yeah, Harmony, I heard that about Gatlinburg and Pigeon Forge. I've been to both of those, and Dollywood actually, more than once. That seems crazy. Milwaukee is very known for having a lot of ethnic festivals, and also a big thing they call Summerfest, where it's 10 days of music on grounds right along the lake near in Milwaukee. And that has been pushed to September, which is huge. And they did that, like, I don't know, probably 3 weeks ago, and I was really surprised. But now that I'm seeing what's going on, it kind of makes a little bit more sense. And I think all of the ethnic festivals have now canceled for the year. Like, German Fest and Irish Fest, Polish Fest. Um, they have, I'm trying to remember what, it's a big gay pride festival that I can't remember what they actually call it. I know those have all canceled, and then Summerfest has moved to just not even 10 days in a row. They're going to do a couple of weekends in September. So I was supposed to do the Victoria Marie event in August of this year, and last week she moved it to 2021. And I don't blame her. I think I said to her at one point when she was talking about it that I hope she wasn't going to need to, but I'm sure there's way more planning behind the scenes than we ever know about with that kind of stuff. And I was going to go with I'm going with a friend, and she was like, why would she do that in August? And I was kind of like, because everybody's doing the best that they can right now. So, oh, thanks, Harmony. Yes, I put more of the Color Street on last week. So you guys need to appreciate these now, because in a month, I can guarantee you they're going back to my awful nails. But I really have fingernails. And I actually have to polish them now, because if they don't that... if they don't get polished, that drives me crazy. So just catching up, Jackie is saying that the quarantine will probably be up in Washington State until the end of May. That's how long we are. We're out till May 26th right now, Jackie. So we would come off quarantine the day after Memorial Day. And I think that's why he did it, is because then Memorial Day won't be an issue, which kind of wrecks Memorial Day plans for me. But I'm okay with that, really. I am. It's fine. Anyway, so yeah, Washington. I was talking. So my ex-husband lives in Washington State now, and we're actually friends. And I was talking to him earlier in the week. We were talking about what a great job Washington did at controlling what was going on, because you guys were one of the first places that we saw get hit, but it was under control pretty quickly there. So 5:15. Yeah, Barbara, isn't that crazy? There's a lot of that. There was a big protest at our state capitol today, but I think it was only about 500 people. Oh, yay! That's pretty cool. Have fun, Shay. You can always catch it on replay too. That's really cool. Definitely you want to scrap FaceTime with her. So, okay, so I'm going to layer a couple stickers here. I'm going to get some green in here. We have that sticker. I probably want to get another one of these in just so it sort of looks kind of the same. So, oh, Harmony. Oh, man. I feel really bad for people who have birthdays right now and can't celebrate the way they would normally like to, especially a big one like your 40th birthday. I'm hoping that if you have something big planned, it can be moved. I saw the coolest thing last night. I have some friends who live in California, and they have a son who turned 5 yesterday, and he stood out on his front lawn and said, honk if, honk, it's my birthday. So people were driving by, and then they got good friends and relatives to, I'm laughing at Moira's comment. That's awesome, Moira. I want to be 39 again. Hey, heck, for me to actually be 42. And Moira, I think you're in that same boat too. Anyway, so they got good friends and family to do drive-bys, and some people dropped presents off for him then on their boulevard. And then my friend he went to school with some people who are firefighters and policemen in their hometown, and they did drive-bys. They drove by with a hook and ladder truck and 2 police cars, and then on their big loudspeakers said happy birthday to, his name is Parker, to Parker. So, I mean, oh my gosh, it was the coolest thing. I thought it was really, really sweet. Okay, so I'm talking and I'm not paying enough attention to what I'm doing, but hey, that's half the fun, isn't it? So I'm thinking I need something up here, so. Anyway, so Rod Stewart. Oh, that's cool. Oh, I'm so hoping that doesn't get canceled for you in August. That would be really neat. So, oh no. I would love to go to Create Inspired. That looks awesome. What a bummer for you guys, Moira. Did they reschedule that? At least? I love that she's staying 49. That's cute. That is totally what should happen. Okay, so I'm not liking any of this. And I have a secret weapon here. I don't know if this is going to work on this, but we're going to try. So I have a Wink of Stella pen. Do you guys know what this is? So I grew up with Rod Stewart too. I was just thinking there's like that challenge going around on Facebook right now that you put, you know, like the one album every for 10 days of albums that, you know, had a big impact on you. And I'd have to do Andy Gibb, Sean Cassidy, Barry Manilow, Casey and the Sunshine Band. That's kind of embarrassing, but it is what it is. So this is a plasticky surface. So I'm not sure if that's going to actually not rub off, but we're going to try because it can't hurt, right? And then maybe I'll do these other pieces too. I should probably wait until I'm all done with this. I'll have to probably wait for a while to make sure before I like put anything on top of this to see if it'll dry. We'll see. But now we glittered up those, so that's good. See, we all want to do. So what does it do, Harmony? I'll put these up close to the camera closer. What it does is it's a brush. It's called a brush marker, but what it is, and you have to make sure you're getting one that's clear because they do come in colors too. But it's clear, and then it just adds glitter. What you want to make sure you do when you buy these, just remember me saying that you need to look it up because they come with a little ring right here in the middle, and you have to prime the pen. You have to take that ring out and then push it and then prime it and do it. And I always forget to do it every time I get a new one. So let me see. I'm not sure you're going to pick up on this because, oh, here, I don't have my big lights on for taping. So let's see if you guys can get this. I don't know. I can't even tell. But, oh, there you go. You're getting the shine there. So there's glitter on it. So that's what it does. It just adds that little bit of glitter. And as I'm talking to you guys, I'm thinking I really like this the way it is because I don't know if I can find anything that I will like up here as well. And I can maybe add, see, I could add a little bit of green up here, but it seems like that green is right there. So I don't know that I want to do that. My other option is this blue, but there's so much blue up there. And there's a lot of stuff down there, so I don't think that that's it. And I don't know that it's red. I'll just do a quick look, but I think I like that, and I think I'm trying too hard, right? I like it. I like it. It's fine. We're going to leave it. So this one is done. I decided. So, oh, you could see it. Good. Yeah, so that's what it does. So it's called Wink of Stella. You can get them a lot of times in scrapbook stores. I'm not sure about if you can get them in Joann's or not, because my Joann's in where I am is really small. And so far, you can actually see the glitter on this. I will tell you it works better on paper because it looks a little bit streaky to me on here, but I think it'll be okay. Once it goes in the page protector, I don't think you'll see that. But anyway, you can get the Wink of Stella pens for sure on Amazon, and I bet you can get them on some of the bigger scrapbook websites too, like scrapbook.com, or I do scrapbook.com or paper issues or Cherry on Top. So okay, so I'm going to put this to the side I'll be right back. I want to put this in a place that it will be able to dry. Okay, which was all the way across my scrapbook room. I scrapbook in my basement. I think I talked about that. So then, yeah, it's 8:10. Let's do another one. So when I was going through supplies today, and the reason I was doing that is because next Friday is May 1st, believe it or not. And Rachel Reynolds and I are going to do, on the first of the month, we do this fun series called Stash Bash. And we dig into our stashes because both of us put ourselves on stash freezes, which are different from spending freezes because it had nothing to do with money. It had everything to do with having a lot of stuff. And so All right, go say goodnight to your mom, Moira. We'll be here. Hey, Renee. So anyway, every first of the month we do a layout and we theme it somehow. The last time we picked a couple of things that we wanted to do. And we usually alternate unless one of us, like, we come up with something we're both like, oh, that would be a great idea, or, you know, we both have lists of stuff we want to do. So I said to her, why don't we use product from scrapbook stores that are out of, or scrapbook manufacturers are out of business, because isn't that the theme right now? And being somebody who presently is not working and has a business, so that's what we're going to do. So I went through the envelopes of 3 or 4 manufacturers that I have that I know no longer exist, and found that found the house paper that I just used, and then I found this picture, and I was going to use a different manufacturer for this, but then I found this paper when I was going through the back to school stuff. So this is M number 2 and M number 3. So M number 3 is my granddaughter, and then there's M number 4, who's another boy, and he's the baby. And so they're doing arts and crafts. So she's like doing little stamps, and he's making a clown, and they've been doing a ton of that, as I think a lot of people have, right? So let's do this picture. And I don't know how much arts and crafty stuff I have here. I know I have a pencil. Ooh, I have a crayon. Somewhere I saw a crayon. Oh, right there. There's a crayon here. I have some pencils on this other one. I think I had glue. Yep, there's glue right there. So we're all good. We have plenty to play with stickers and stuff. Ooh, and this is actually the same. Ooh, I'm like, ooh, ooh. Oh, actually, yes, really, ooh, because look at this, you guys. There's a little kid border, and there's a crayon border that I'm going to have to use because it's so cute. I used to have these freckled fawn crayons that were really similar to this, but they were a crayon. Oh my gosh. I was sad when I used the last of those. I didn't hoard them, I just used them, but I was sad. Okay, so white background again. I'm destined to work with white backgrounds tonight, aren't I? And let's grab... I must be all about green because I just saw a piece of green paper and thought that looked really good to work with. So what do we want to do? And I'm laughing because M number 2's hair is just a wreck. He likes to get up at like 5 in the morning. So oftentimes he's looking a little unkempt when you first see him. Let's see. So this is that photo play collection again. Ooh, this is cute. Oh, not the same collection though. So now I have a Doodlebug collection in here too. I think what I did is I went and I just found school papers and that kind of stuff. That's cute. It's not the same blue. Or there's the green. Ooh, and I like both of these. Let me see if I can find a blue in that color. I know I have... Oh, look at this. Here we go. Ask and ye shall receive. What kind of? That works for me, I think. We'll see. Maybe it still needs to be a little bit darker. This is where you see me go a little crazy, guys. I think this is a little bit better. I think this is a little bit too bright for this. It was kind of a combination. That other blue was maybe not quite right either. I think this is a little bit better. I might be able to do one better than that. I'm going to keep looking. So talk amongst yourselves for a quick second if you get bored waiting. Or waiting for me to yell at you as I'm yelling to you. Kind of a purpley blue. Okay, here's another couple blues. So let's look and see if any of these get closer. This one actually is a really good match. I'll put it up so you guys can see it. And I should probably, let me turn on my other light. I actually have filming lights now and I forget to turn them on sometimes because I'm not used to them. So I think this actually is the best blue match to that blue. I pulled that just in case too. So, you know what? Hey, I was doing really well. I just threw paper on the floor for the first time tonight. That's pretty good for me. Usually by this time it's on the floor. Okay, so I like that. Now, here's one thing I don't like, though. Do you remember I think it was last week when we were talking about how you get patterns to work together? Okay, that's weird. Can everybody hear me? Can everybody else hear me? Somebody say yes if you can, just so we know. And I can't tell Barbara. Okay, you can hear. So Barbara, it must be something going on. Thanks. Okay, thanks, you guys. All right. So last week we were talking about big, little, blah, blah, blah. So these two I think are little. This is either a big or a medium, depending on what else I decide to do. So I'm not sure that these patterns would be good together. Now, I do sometimes do that. I have done that before, but I do it really consciously when I'm doing it. So I'm just going to see if there's something else in here that I could use instead. And I could flip these out, make that the background, and then put the kids on that, which is what I'm going to do. I like the varied colors in here a little bit better than than as a matte versus just this. It's not a matte, as a background, I should say. All right, so let's get them down. There we go. Trying to think if anything else exciting has happened this week. Oh, I know the other cool thing I didn't tell you guys before. So my other big thing is masks, because I'm going to need to wear masks for quite a while. And I own a sewing machine. The only thing my sewing machine has ever done, because I haven't had it my whole entire life. I used my mom's until I moved out of my parents' house 30-some years ago. Anyway, so this is, maybe we do what I like to do, like that. Or okay. I know what I'm going to do. We're going to get some washi tape and put a big strip here. You know, that's kind of a go-to design thing, right? Shamel uses that one all the time. And if it's good enough for her, it's good enough for me. So anyway, I was going to need to use masks. I have about 10 surgical masks left. I gave some of them away, but not all of them, because I knew I was going to need to use them. And silly me, I was thinking, oh, I'll just need, I don't know, like 10 or so and it'll be fine. This was back in mid-March when I stopped working and we didn't know what we didn't know yet, right? And so that was my big thing is, what am I going to do? Because I don't now want to take any more, I don't want to go buy surgical masks now, because I would feel guilty about doing that. My sister says no. She said, you're medical, Kelly, you need them. But I'm like, not as much as the people who work at your hospital need them. Anyway, so I was just trying to figure out, like, do I make masks? What do I do? I was starting to look at patterns. And a friend of mine who is a seamstress was making them. And I just sent her a note and I said, hey, I see that you're making masks. Do you have a particular pattern that you're using? And this was last Thursday when our order was extended, and she sent me a messenger note right away and asked if I was okay and if I needed anything, including financially, because she was worried about me, because she knew that I had been off work for more than a month already, and now I was going to be off work longer. And I said, nope, I'm good, I'm fine, live in my mom's place, she's being lovely, I'm not paying rent, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, so when I sent her that, she said to me, I have a pattern that I'm using, I have a couple of them. She said, but you don't have to worry about that because I want to make you masks. And she said, do you want 5? And I said, yeah, that's good. I can wash them in between. And she said, would 10 be better? And I said, yes. She said, great. She said, I'll have them done for you next week. So she texted me today and my masks are done and I can pick them up, and she will not let me pay her for them. So I posted to Facebook a little thing about looking for the helpers. You know how Mr. Rogers always said, look for the helpers? Because that's one of those things, that there's a big helper right there. I'm going to try this too. Just going to paper layer tonight. So, yeah. Last week Sunday, and then again on Thursday, I was in tears just because of all the lovely friends that I have who are taking care of me. Okay, so I'm thinking I want to see what this is going to look like. I'm going to shift this a little bit to see if I like it sticking out, the red sticking out, which I think I do. So back here, right about there. So those are two cool things that have happened. I like looking for those positive things. Okay, so there's that. And this is just a scrap. This is also from the Echo Park collection. Should tell you guys what this is. This is from that back to school collection from Echo Park. It is the 3x4 journaling card paper. This is a piece from Creative Memories, actually, one of their kits. I don't really buy it on a regular basis, but I do a crop in March every year. And a friend of mine who does CM always puts it on, so I always try to buy a paper pack or two from her. So that's what this is. The green is Echo Park Back to School Alphabet Scramble. And then this is the photo play collection that's called First Day of School, and that collection is School Days. So that's what we have so far. And now I'm just playing, and I'm thinking these need ink. Guess what color I'm going to use, guys? All right, now I'm being silly. I do have a glass of wine here, but I think I had 2 sips. I had a sip while I was talking to my sister right before I came on, and actually I think I had 2 of them while I was talking to her. So I have not done my glass of wine much justice, but that's okay. And I know I said I was thinking about putting some washi on there too, so I'll think about that a little bit. I'm thinking maybe green, to pull out the green in the background. I also have to think about, like, where are the crayons and stuff that I'm going to use. Alright, so back like that. This probably should be a little thinner. Hold on a second. After I ink them, I'm going to come back and cut it. Again, all I can say is it didn't feel like the picture had room to breathe. Okay, there we go. Yeah, I like that much better. Now it has a little shelf it's sitting on, and I could pull this one way or the other, but I think I really like it there. And what I'm going to do is glue something down here so that I don't continue to fool around with it. That's not the worst thing, because, you know, even though sometimes when you make a mistake, then sometimes you just have to figure it out, right? Okay, so I have that one, and I'm not going to have a lot to say about this. The kids, my stepson is a stay-at-home dad during the day. He does work nights and weekends. He can do pools, so at a hospital. So he does that. So the kids are always doing art projects and that kind of stuff, but this was one of the things they were doing to try to keep them busy early on in quarantine life. Okay, so I'm going to grab some of my washi tape here and just stick some of these things down that I know I want to use. So there's a, nobody's using a pen here. there were stickers with stuff on it. I just have to unbury my stickers because now I have a mess off to my right-hand side here. Okay, and I had glue, so I'll grab glue. And these are in colors that don't exist in this paper, but that's okay. Oh, I forgot. I almost forgot. The crayon border. I think I'm going to just run this right here. Oh, yeah. And I'm just going to cut this one, the red crayon off, because I think it's a little bit too long. And maybe we can use him up in another spot. But we're going to just pop that right along there like that. They're too cute not to use. Definitely have to use that crayon somewhere. Okay, so we have that. I think I had a pencil. Oh, here's 2 paintbrushes. Oh, and I just found a third one. M number 2 should not be allowed to have paint because he got up one day before everybody else did and grabbed the acrylic paint. I've scrapbooked this layout already. I don't know if I did it on, I don't think I did a video of it. But he was on this, painting on this table, and like, I think he poured 3 pots of acrylic paint out. All over the table. And then he decided, and this was, again, he gets up early, so this is like 5 in the morning when nobody else is up. Then he decided that the wall needed to be painted in their hallway. The good news is that it's all, kids paint now is all, what do I want to say? It is all washable. So his parents weren't happy about it, but it wasn't too damaging at least. Okay, so that guy might not get used this time, but that's okay. I was hoping to like scatter these 2 things around somewhere else, but that might not work. Here's a pencil cup too, but it's another one of those blues. I'm going to have to find some of that blue to use somewhere or figure that out somehow. Okay, so I like this little trio here. Just like that. I actually like that, but I'm going to wait to glue this down. Probably could have glued this a little bit better, but this was not, this little edge isn't coming out there, but I think it's too late. And I think if I try to take this up, I'll pull the photo. Oh, maybe not. I didn't. Okay, we're going to do this a little wiser this time. I either have to have more or less of it showing. There we go. Now, actually, this is kind of a no-win because now the corner of the photo is doing the same thing. I guess that's okay. It will be fine. All right. There's a scissors here too. I'm thinking that would be kind of fun. Okay. Oh, you guys, Monday is D-Day for me. I've been having that, you know, have you seen the meme about a panda eats 12 hours a day, and when in quarantine, people eat like pandas, so that's why it's called a pandemic? Well, I've been practicing panda, and Monday is D-Day. My daughter-in-law and I and a couple other women are doing a challenge for each other to get back on track because I have not been running like I normally do, and you know, trying to give myself some grace, but I need to get back because I don't feel good. And so that wine that I'm having is going to become way less often, and I'm going to start eating really well again and get back onto my normal kind of plans of what I do. My body is starting to cry out for salads. I've been eating vegetables. I love asparagus, but yeah, it's time. Okay. I actually like the way this looks, so I think I'm just going to glue it down. I think it does a nice job of the kind of covering the transition line between these two. Kind of blending that in. Okay, then I need some sort of title up here. And I'm just thinking what color. I have a couple green alphas here. I have a blue. My greens might be not the right greens. Maybe I'll do that blue that I showed you. That, oh, actually I probably need red. There's this green. This green, these greens are too minty. I'm going to look for my red. I could have sworn all those simple stories. Oh, there we go. I'm gonna say all those simple stories ones are brand new for me. So there we go. That's a good match. All right. Is anybody else doing Shamel's class right now? She has a really nice sketch class going on, and I haven't, as much as I've been scrapping, I haven't been as good at scrapbooking like this, using the sketches. I think I get down here and then I just, you know, then the inspiration strikes and I'm off, and I don't think so hard about, you know, oh wait, what was that sketch that I saw? Because I usually watch the videos at night. I should watch them while I'm scrapbooking. That might help. But she's done some really cool things, so I definitely am going to. I think I've used 2 of them. I've made 2 layouts, but I think she's on the 7th sketch. So, and she does 3 for each sketch. So if you want some good inspiration, there's 21 right now, and I think, are there 8 sketches maybe? I can't remember. But anyway, obviously I'm a fan of Shamel's because I scrapbook in layers, kind of blocks of paper. Although she likes to put hers askew, and I'm a little more anal about that. I try, but I always want to put my edges back together. Okay. Now, I have to see how many, because I'm going to make this art project because that's what Mama titled it when she posted this photo to Facebook. It should be art projects really, because there are 2 of them and they're doing different things. I just want to, like, I wish I could see them just to do some of the fun art projects and stuff. When I see fun stuff, I'll send it to them, and then my daughter-in-law will send me what they've done, and then I'm kind of like, oh, I really would have loved to have done that with them. So we'll see how far across this goes. Well, actually, I know how far across it goes, right? Because I'm using this bottom line. So, oh, and I was thinking about using some washi, wasn't I? But you know what? I don't think I'm going to, because I think right now there's a nice blend here, and I think if I use washi, it will take your eye away from this line, because it'll make your eye go vertical again, and I like the horizontal here and drawing attention to the horizontals here. So I don't think I'm going to do that. I'll end up putting the S on. So what I'm going to do right now is put this P right here on that line, because I don't like it when I have 2 different papers showing through those spaces. That's a Shamel thing too, but it's a me thing for sure. I don't like it when I have to do that, and I will. Oops, you guys, I'm not sure. I'm going to come back. Okay, you guys, I just lost the stream on my iPad, so hold on a second, because I looked up and I realized I couldn't see any of your comments, so hang on just a second. Not sure what's going on. I'm hoping I haven't lost my internet. It's just going to take me a minute. Sorry, guys. I can't see you, so I can't tell if I've lost the stream or not. Okay, thanks. Thanks, Harmony. So I know you're still there. Sorry. I've had really wonky internet all day today. And okay, I'm going to keep scrapbooking because my iPad is not picking up the internet. And I'm going to try to watch. Yeah, it's telling me to connect to the internet. So I don't know that I'm going to be able to answer your questions. So I will keep scrapbooking. I'm almost done, actually, because I'll be done as soon as I finish this, I think, with a couple little more details. So I'm hoping the internet holds out long enough. Yeah, and it looks like I'm still going. So I will keep doing this, and I'll peek in to see if I can see any of your comments. So I'm really sorry, you guys. My internet has gone out a couple times today. I live kind of on the edge of the city where I live, and I'm a mile away from the, I don't know, box where it comes out of. So often it's not good. So, okay. So there we go. So art projects. Yeah, I like the projects better. Yeah, this is going to be great. I'm just about done. Because what I want to do is I want to take these little guys and put them in like you would enamel dots. And then sometimes that brings down the color here. Let's see. I think 3 is good. All right, you guys. I think that's pretty good. Thanks, Renee. And I'm just going to stand up because I can read your comments as they come through now. So if I missed anything as my internet went down, sorry about that. But yeah, it won't. My iPad won't let me back on, but my phone can. So anyway, yeah, perfect. They are perfect kid colors, aren't they? So I will probably on this one, when I'm all done, just put the date right down here, right below this, because I don't have anything to say. I wasn't there. It's just that, like, maybe I'll write early morning art projects or something, and then the date right here is all I'm going to write, because this was really early in the morning that they were doing this. But that's probably it for this one. So there we go. So there's another layout, and thanks you guys for I'm glad I didn't lose you. That makes me happy. So I missed the rambling. I know, I felt bad though, because I'm like, oh no, I can't see any other comments. Yeah, I'm like, did you guys go quiet on me or something? I'll have to see if I can go back and pick up on them later. I will do that. But yeah, if there's anything that you want to ask me, just throw them in comments and that kind of stuff, and I'll pick on it up on it later. So these are the new Simple Stories Color Vibe alphas. The one reason I bought this, and I can blame this on my buddy Rachel, because I saw her get them and I'm like, oh my gosh, those are super cool. I had seen them but didn't buy them. But anyway, so I was like, okay, I think I really have to have those. But I bought them because they have orange, and I don't have that much orange. So, all right, you guys. Glad that you guys had all fun. It was nice to scrap with you. You guys take care. And I'm sure I will see you sometime next week, if not before. Take care, and I hope you guys are all safe this week. Bye, everybody.